In recent years, the aviation industry has witnessed astounding innovations that have pushed the boundaries of possibilities and continuously blurred the not-so-thin line between reality and fantasy. But guess what? There is more. Just after getting accustomed to the new norm, a secret project by the Pentagon, a magnificent fighter, which boasts of unbelievable abilities, was spotted just above the Pacific Ocean. Upon the shocking revelation of this aircraft, several questions are being asked, like, how long have they kept this futuristic fighter a secret? Are they secretly testing more aircraft like this one? Join us as we look into the details of the Pentagon's invisible aircraft that was spotted by sailors over the Pacific Ocean. The Pentagon, a phrase often used as a metonym for the Department of Defense and its leadership, and also serves as a symbol of the United States military might, has always been shrouded in secrecy. It is believed that whatever is discussed or developed in this building stays within its 5 walls, but somehow, some of this information gets leaked. For instance, a top-secret innovation by the Pentagon, which is meant to be classified, was spotted by the occupant of a fishing boat who was headed to Vancouver on a cool afternoon. This unexpected onlooker explained that he witnessed a strange object flying at an extreme speed in the sky, and this object looked like an unusual aircraft, something that has never been seen before. It did not move like the regular aircraft, and to make things more interesting, it vanished before his eyes, making him question his sanity. After this shocking sight, the fisherman that witnessed this bizarre encounter immediately took to the internet, and the World Wide Web did its thing, making the story become widespread until it got to the attention of the Pentagon, who were unaware of the fact that they had an audience. The United States military immediately reacted to this incident and leaked information that explained that the bizarre aircraft that was spotted was a U.S. drone that was being tested. This was too great a coincidence, and people didn't buy it. The military's move only ignited the people's curiosity, and they wanted to know what the Pentagon was hiding. And the people were right. They discovered that the leaked information was just to distract them from the real innovation that has been under the development stage for a very long time, and the fact that it was finally getting its aerodynamic tests. Regarding this innovation, it does not come as a shock that the United is testing a secret fighter that was not disclosed to the public. What shocked people was the capabilities of the jet to become invisible. Now, this is not even about stealth designs because the aircraft literally disappeared into thin air. This wasn't the first time that such an event would be discovered by the public. In the past, the enigmatic fighter known as X-44 Manta was among the several projects that the United States had the intention of keeping a secret. Even after its debut, it was obvious the fighter was too advanced. Several things also made the fighter stand out. It was the only tailless, unlike the fighter jets, that were being developed in that time, and that aside, it had characteristics that other fighters could not boast of. The fighter jet's name, Manta, is an acronym for Multi-Axis No-Tail Aircraft, and it was designed by Lockheed Martin. The interesting features of this aircraft immediately piqued the curiosity of NASA and the United States Air Force as they began looking into this fighter, whose design was based on the F-22 Raptor. This F-20 Raptor is an American fighter developed from the collaboration efforts of 2 weapon companies, Lockheed Martin and Boeing. It is a single-seat, twin-engine supersonic aircraft that was developed specifically for the United States Air Force. Even though it was originally designed for air superiority, it can also effectively perform ground attacks, electronic warfare, and signals intelligence. Lockheed was in charge of building the airframe and weapons, while Boeing contributed to the wings, rear fuselage, avionics integration, and training systems. It is a 5th-generation fighter and the first operational aircraft to combine supercruise, supermaneuverability, stealth, and integrated avionics in a single weapons platform. This enables it to survive and conduct missions, primarily offensive and defensive counter-air operations, in highly contested environments. The shape of the fighter combines stealth and aerodynamic performance. As an inspiration for the X-44 Manta, the plan form and panel edges are aligned, and surfaces have continuous curvature to reduce its radar cross-section. Its clipped diamond-like delta wings are smoothly aligned into the angular fuselage that possesses 4 empennage surfaces and leading edge root extension running to the upper outbound corner of the carry inlets. Also, the fighter control surface includes leading edge flaps, flaperons, rudders on the canter vertical stabilizers, and all moving horizontal tails for speed brake function. The ailerons deflect up, flaperons down, and rudders outwards to increase drag. The F-22 is better than older fighters because it can fly really fast and high, making its sensors and weapons work better. This also helps it survive against things on the ground like missiles. It can supercruise, flying super fast without using extra fuel, so it can reach targets that other planes can't. Also, it keeps high performance since its weapons are inside, reducing drag from external stuff. Well, unlike the F-22, X-44 was aimed at getting rid of the regular flight control surfaces by controlling yaw, pitch, and roll by making use of thrust vectoring. It would also combine control and propulsion systems. In addition to these advanced features, the fighter jet was designed to have bigger fuel capacity, less mechanical complexity, better fuel efficiency, and an increased agility. The Manta was initially supposed to be subsonic, but it turned out to be the fastest in its class, flying at a speed of Mach 1 in just 7 seconds. These results didn't go unnoticed, and developers didn't want to stop there. The Manta was given the ability to climb 12 miles. This fighter was definitely and undeniably the futuristic version of the formidable F-22 Raptor. With these already amazing features, imagine it being used to deploy some of the most lethal weapons like hypersonic missiles and adjustable bombers. Deadly. A total of 6 variants of this aircraft were developed and offered to the Air Force at once. However, despite all of its innovation, news about the project went silent, and all information gradually began to disappear from the internet, which definitely got the attention of the public. It was officially released that the military did not approve any of the Manta prototypes, stating they were for NASA research on tailless structures, but the explanation didn't add up, and people believe that there is more to the report than they were letting on. But after several unanswered questions, people eventually forgot about the X-44 until recently, when a fighter man sighted an aircraft that looked just like the forgotten X-44. It came as a surprise to people who had altogether forgotten about the existence of the tailless fighter, because apparently the project was not abandoned. In fact, it was quite the opposite, and it became really obvious because the Pentagon started to erase previous trades of their secret fighter to keep it hidden. Although it seemed like the Manta project didn't exist, it does, and it's actively being developed. Over the years, it went through many changes, making it nearly the greatest aircraft ever. The new X-44 is a fighter that is designed to penetrate into high-risk areas, do its job, and quickly escape without being noticed or leaving its traces behind. It has a special engine in the middle that can make it fly at a speed of over 2,000 miles per hour. And this is considered to be super fast, almost as much as the SR-71 Blackbird. But the Manta is a full-fledged fighter, not just a scout. Besides speed, it's also great at being stealthy. Originally, it had a stealth coating, but now it has this advanced skin called parallax, which is like a camera and a display, and this means that the lower part of the aircraft can copy the image the upper part sees and vice versa. If you're wondering how it attains its invisibility, this is achievable through parallax. This parallax is what the fishermen saw, but this advanced skin does not really deflect radar waves, which are needed and specially designed to detect enemy aircraft. The X-44 has a really cool radar system. Instead of just suppressing it, it tricks the radar. Even if a fighter sends out waves that bounce back, indicating its presence, this system reads the radar's signal, stops it, and sends out its own waves. This makes the plane seem invisible to radar and hard to spot, even by advanced technology or human eyes. There are also rumors that this secret fighter jet is not even a fighter jet but a sophisticated drone, and this has the tendency to be true because the United States is experienced in the creation of secret combat drones that features incredible capabilities, and this is similar to the X-44. The Northrop Grumman X-47B is the world's first multi-purpose attack drone that can be controlled remotely and also possesses several innovative abilities. If the Manta was created with an emphasis on invisibility, then the X-47B was designed to be capable of taking off and landing on an aircraft carrier all by itself. In order to achieve this, its developers designed it to be the only drone in existence that can fold its wings to ensure maximum compactness, and also to be the first unmanned aerial vehicle to receive real artificial intelligence. Its onboard computer is capable of managing many flight elements like taking off, cruising, and safely landing on an aircraft carrier, all without human intervention. With these unique features, it stands to improve the United States' Navy's might. The X-47B just doesn't carry any old missiles on board. It has a 2,200-pound JDAM smart ammunition. This ammunition is so destructive that the most protected and armed positions are not safe from its lethality. Heavy mobile equipment simply gets sent flying through the air from the shockwave, but recently, the United States' #1 rival, China, recently announced that it has created the first drone capable of taking off from an aircraft carrier, but funny enough, they weren't the first to create such a technology. One limitation to China still has not figured out a way to refuel its drones when it is airborne, without resorting to standard methods. But the United States' weapon companies has long resolved this issue a long time by making use of the Stingray. The Boeing MQ-25 Stingray is an unmanned tanker aircraft created as part of the U.S. Navy Development Program. It is a drone for refueling planes in the air. It came from the Carrier-Based Aerial Refueling System program, which started with the Unmanned Carrier-Launched Airborne Surveillance and Strike program. This sophisticated drone had its first flight on September 19, 2019. Like other refueling drones, this one's design uses a Rolls-Royce engine that gives it a thrust of 10,000 thrust, which is a version of the engine on the Navy's MQ-4C Triton. Even though the drone does not possess the stealth attributes like other aircrafts, it has a sleek shape, an inlet that helps it to hide the engine from radar, and a V-shaped tail. It is similar of the X-47B in terms of its features. The same top speed of 450 miles per hour, the same flight altitude of 39,000 feet, even its wings fold in the same way. It was also created for its ability to launch from an aircraft carrier. However, this Boeing drone is not fit for combat. Its only purpose is to safely refuel drones like the X-47B. The two actually often work in tandem. The fighter jet will fly out on a mission and drop a bomb on an enemy target. The MQ-25 then arrives to refuel it, and the drone takes off to a different position to deliver another devastating blow. That's a lot of insane features, but if you find yourself wondering what the best military drone in the world is, well, it's none other than the American MQ-9. The MQ-9 Reaper, also known as Predator B, is a drone made by General Atomics. It can fly by remote control or autonomously, and it's used by the U.S. Air Force. The USAF calls it a remotely piloted vehicle aircraft to show that humans control it from the ground. It is way bigger and more powerful than the MQ-1 Predator, but it can be controlled using the same ground systems. The Reaper has a stronger engine, allowing it to carry 15 times more weapons and fly at about 3 times the speed of the MQ-1. This drone can be watched and controlled, including using weapons by the aircrew in the ground control station. It's the first UAV built to be a hunter-killer, focusing on long endurance and high-altitude surveillance. In 2006, General T. Michael Mosley mentioned a shift from using UAVs mainly for surveillance to having a real hunter-killer role with the Reaper. As of May, 2021, more than 300 MQ-9 Reapers, and some of them have been upgraded to perform better in tough combat situations, and all the new ones would also have these upgrades. Due to its formidable capabilities, it is expected to serve until 2035. It can be acquired at a price of $30 million, and besides being used by the U.S. military, it is used by Customs and Border Protection and also by the military in other countries. The usual setup for this drone includes multiple aircraft, a ground control station, communication gear, and spare parts for maintenance. The military flight team includes a pilot, a sensor operator, and a mission intelligence coordinator. It is driven by a 950 horsepower engine, possesses the ability to go 260 knots at incredible speed, and flies around 150 to 170 knots. With a wingspan of 66 feet, this aircraft can carry up to 3,800 pounds. In addition to its awesome features, it can be equipped with different destructive and potent weapons, like the Popular Hellfire missiles and 500-pound laser-guided bombs. When undergoing surveillance missions, it can last for 30 hours, but it eventually decides to 23 hours of carrying heavy weapons. The Reaper can fly across a distance of 1,000 nautical miles and even reach an altitude of 25,000 feet. This makes it handy for extended surveillance periods and also supporting ground troops. The Predator and Reaper are not just regular aircraft to fly in civilian air traffic. They were developed for strictly military operations. Interestingly, these drones do not have the necessary system to follow the FAA see and avoid rules. Back in 2005, there were requests to use the MQ-9s for a search and rescue operation after the deductive Hurricane Katrina, but they didn't get the FAA's approval. This advanced drone can make use of several kits for various missions with different weapons and sensor setups based on what is needed at that time for combat. Its Raytheon AN/AAS-52 sensor package has color and monochrome daylight TV, infrared, and image-intensified TV with a laser rangefinder designator for guiding laser weapons. The aircraft also has a Lynx multi-mode radar with synthetic aperture radar and ground-moving target indication capabilities, including dismount moving target indicator and maritime wide area search. The Reaper was used to try out Gorgon Stare, a surveillance system covering a wide area. The first version, called Increment 1, started working in March 2011 on the Reaper and covered about 16 square kilometers. Increment 2, which included Argus-IS and expanded coverage to 100 square kilometers, became operational in early 2014. This system has 368 cameras, each capturing 5 million pixels, making an image of around 1.8 billion pixels. The video is recorded at 12 frames per second, generating several terabytes of data per minute. In January 2012, General Atomics improved the Reaper's landing gear with a new design. This brings more benefits, like a 30% increase in how much weight it can handle during landing, a 12% increase in takeoff weight, and a shock absorber that doesn't need maintenance, which means that there is no need for nitrogen pressurization. It also got a better rejected takeoff brake system, and now it can potentially have automatic takeoff and landing as well as anti-lock brake system upgrades. In April 2012, there were talks about upgrades for USAF Reapers, including adding 2 extra fuel pods under the wings to increase flight time to 37 hours. The wingspan could also be increased to 88 feet, extending flight time to 42 hours. The U.S. Air Force got 38 Reaper extended range versions, which have external fuel tanks without affecting weapon capacity, a strong landing gear, a 4-bladed propeller, a new fuel management system to balance fuel and thermal levels, and an alcohol water injection system to shorten the required runway for takeoff. These changes make the drone last longer, increasing its endurance from 27 to 35 hours. The option of a lengthened wing is still being suggested. The Reaper ER started operational flights in August 2015. The aircraft got an upgrade, swapping the sensor ball for a high-definition camera. Improved communication lets ground controllers see better quality video. New software helps automatically find threats and track 12 moving targets simultaneously. Plus, it can quickly fire missiles within 0.32 seconds of each other, known as super ripple firing. On February 25, 2016, General Atomics shared that they successfully tested the new Predator BER version. This version has longer wings, now at 79 feet, making it last for 40 hours. It also got better takeoff and landing in short fields, spoilers on the wings for precise automatic landings, and features for de-icing and antennas on the wings. Guess what? The evolution of fighters and UAVs has definitely not reached its peak, because who knows what else the Pentagon has in store. Thanks for watching. While you are still here, click on the link on your screen to check out another of our videos. See you there.